Hello.
Hello, how are
Hello,
you?
darling. I'm good. How are you, my lovely?
Not too bad, not too
Aw,
bad. Another
Look at your
week.
gorgeous wee face. Look at your gorgeous wee face.
I know, and look at
Oh,
your gorgeous self. I love your top.
you like my top? What's it say? What's it say? What's it say?
Queen.
Oh, she's the queen. Look, and I got my new wee gorgeous necklace all the way from Shane, Shine, whatever you call it. Sweet snake.
Lovely,
Sweet
lovely.
snake. Anyway, welcome to welcome back to G&T Sips and Giggles,
Yes.
the podcast where we blend the mystical and the comical. I'm Tina Lakes Tantrum, your sultry Scorpio co-host.
Ah, thank you so much. And I am Glenn, your resident Gemini. Today we are diving into the Cosmopolitan Zodiac Playbook on dating Gemini and Scorpio.
Ooh, yes. Today we're diving into some Cosmopolitan Gems articles and dating a Gemini man. That's Glenn. And a Scorpio lady. That's me, Tina. It's all about what you'd get dating us. So grab a drink and let's get stuck in.
Yes, here's to good nights and better fights. Cheers, pet.
So welcome back. So let's start with a basic review of what Cosmo says are your best and worst traits. Glenn, as a Gemini, you were born between the 21st of May to the 20th of June.
I was born on the 14th of June, 14th of the 685, making me a Gemini, according to Dean Coyle. Actually, her birthday is the 15th of June. Mine's the
Is it?
14th, that's how I know.
You could have been in that band. You would have been old
Don't know
enough.
about that. Definitely not. Definitely nowhere near as good as Nadine Coyle.
I find this so interesting. Okay, so I was doing a tiny bit of research today. Listen to this.
Go for it.
So Gemini's best traits. Playful,
Okay.
witty,
Right.
and naturally curious.
Okay, I would believe with that. Yeah. Okay.
Always full of ideas and up for trying new things.
Okay, yes.
Adaptable and spontaneous. Keeping things exciting.
Okay. I mean, adaptable, maybe not as much, because it's such a one-track mind. But spontaneity.
I don't think
and
so.
keeping
It
things
just depends on
exciting.
the situation you're in.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
And open-minded and adventurous with even in the bedroom.
Goodness, my mum's going to listen to this. Okay. If Cosmopolitan said so, it must be true.
It must be true. Now, you ready for this? Gemini's worst traits.
Oh God. Okay, do your worst.
Now, this is just what I'm reading. Don't shoot the messenger.
Okay.
Struggles with commitment,
Oh, don't believe in that. No.
not just in relationships, but in general.
I'm pretty sure that when I commit to something, I see it through, and I've been in a relationship for 17 years, so I think I'm
Yeah.
doing all right with commitment.
There's more.
Okay, God.
Frequently changes plans last minute.
Oh no.
No.
I don't agree with this. No,
You're not
I
that kind of
hate
Gemini.
this. I hate this about anybody that likes to change plans last minute.
Yeah.
It's like the worst thing for me.
Yeah. Can be unpredictable and easily distracted.
Yeah, probably. Easily distracted. Yes, for sure.
Okay, one more. You ready? Can you handle it?
Okay, go
Can
for
you
it.
take it?
I can try.
Prefers going with the flow rather than sticking to a set plan.
Oh, you see, I disagree with that.
Yeah.
It's like I need the set plan, and when people suggest going with the flow, that's when I know the wheels fall off the bus for me.
Yeah.
Almost true.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Tina, as a Scorpio, you were born between the 23rd of October and the 21st of November. So let's start
20th
with
of
your best traits. Okay.
Okay.
So according to Cosmo, you're the type that would start off guarded, but once you trust somebody, you're all in.
Yeah.
You are intensely loyal, passionate, and surprisingly romantic. I love that it's surprisingly romantic.
Yeah.
It's not romantic, it's surprisingly.
romantic. Okay, keep going. Yeah,
You are
that's good.
big on grand gestures, and I think that's a fair assumption. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Although they say think candles, rose petals, and deep emotional connections.
Yeah. I would say yes, but it wouldn't be candles and rose petals for me. Love.
I was going to. I was trying to think. No, I agree.
That's not a grand gesture.
Although this next one, I think this is good. You're highly intuitive, and you get a sense of when something's wrong, but you know how to fix it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, we spoke about this today. Incredible memory. Remembers all your favorites.
Absolutely.
You remember so many faces. When you're on stage, I genuinely do not have to worry whenever we're playing a game show or anything like that. Like, you will remember everybody's name.
Yep.
You even are good at keeping score, which I would find incredibly difficult to do. So I think you've got an incredible memory. I think it's a very fair assessment.
Memory of an elephant. I never forget a kindness.
You're fiercely protective and will always have your back, and might even help with revenge.
It's true. Yeah, I am. I'm really am like a mother lion. I'm like a lioness, you know. And once I'm committed, I'm committed. And once I'm committed, I'm protective and sometimes overprotective, you know. And I have slayed in my time.
Right, are you ready for the worst traits now?
God, I don't want to admit them.
It's only a Cosmo quiz. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Okay,
here we go.
Yeah.
Scorpio, your worst traits can be jealous and possessive.
No.
Holds grudges and never forgets past conflicts.
True.
Sensitive, but hides it through a tough exterior.
Absolutely.
Has an obsessive and paranoid streak.
No.
May check your social media activity or texts.
True.
And if you break up, do not expect a second chance, because when you're gone for good.
Gone for good. Absolutely right. Yeah. I am the classic Scorpio. Like, the tail end of Scorpio is the 21st of November. And I'm in that tail, the sting. And once it's broke, it's broke. You know, and I'm all about forgiveness and moving on and stuff, but things stick in my head and it's never the same again. But if I love someone or something, and I'm passionate about it, you know, I know when to shut my mouth and walk away for the sake of keeping whatever that is, because that would be like precious to me. So yeah, I think most of them are right, but I wouldn't say I get jealous or possessive. Absolutely not. Definitely not. There's no way. No. I'm a wee bit annoyed. If you were sitting here in front of me, I'd slap a baby.
It's not me, it's Cosmo. Okay, so let's talk about compatibility. Here's an interesting thing, right? So there are people out there that actually live their lives by the compatibility on what their star sign is effectively says.
Right.
So, like, if we take mine as an example, right? So best matches for me, Scorpio.
Okay.
Aquarius.
Is that
right? Yeah. Best matches for me would be I've got about 6. So Scorpio is 1, Aquarius, which is Gary's, a Libra, Aries, Sagittarius, and another Gemini. Now, my worst matches apparently are Virgo and Pisces.
Right.
But, like, isn't that interesting? There's Gary is apparently, according to Cosmo, and Aquarius is a really good match for me.
Absolutely. Okay. So my best matches are Cancer,
Okay.
Pisces, Virgo, Taurus, and Gemini.
Yes.
Gemini. And do you know what my worst matches are?
Go for it.
Leo and Aquarius.
Interesting. Did you like have anybody in your past whenever you were dating, maybe this is a bit of a random question, you wouldn't be able to think that far back, but like, was it anybody that you've previously dated, were they any of those signs that feel like
Yep.
the best match?
I don't even want to talk about it, but
No,
they were
that's
both
okay.
the worst match. The worst match, both of them. One was Leo and one was Aquarius. So it is kind of really spot on.
Wow. Wow.
So it is. I mean, listen, right? Dating me, Cosmo Scorpio vibes, lass, lady edition, loyal but jealous, passionate but heavy. I'm a lot, Glenn. You know it.
You are a lot and I'm here for it. But listen, let's talk about relationships in
Okay.
general.
Right.
Okay. So, like, you know, let's talk about the sort of the sexual encounter element, what it's like to be in a relationship with a Scorpio, and if we're dating a Scorpio, right? Now,
Right. Okay.
this is all from Cosmo, so so you know, just reading out what's been said. But what about you, Tina?
Oh, I think.
Let's start with sex with a Scorpio. Let's talk about
Okay,
that.
right.
Let's
Okay,
talk
okay,
about
okay,
that.
okay. So I'm going to be brutally honest when I say this. Intense, all-consuming,
Okay.
deeply passionate.
Right.
Sex is a full body, full mind, full spirit experience.
So do
Open.
you believe that, like, that? Do you think that Cosmo has got you nailed as a Scorpio?
Nailed.
Pun intended.
I mean, yeah. I mean, open. I'm open to exploring kinks, sex toys, possibly BDSM, or even power play, role play.
Okay.
I love role play. Just saying. I love
Interesting.
role play.
Interesting.
Takes their time. Expect marathon sessions rather than quick encounters. I like
Okay.
that. I love that. And I love secrets. And I actually might enjoy we discreet public play with an app controlled toy.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
You see, and it's because it makes it really exciting.
Why are you whispering? People are not going to be able to hear what you're saying on the podcast.
Because it's very naughty. I'm a big fan of teasing. Sexy
Okay.
photos or hints about lingerie and, like a sexy text.
Yeah, yeah.
Sexting.
Okay.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It drives guys absolutely crazy. It drives them wild. Oral sex and toys? Absolutely. Yep,
Okay. Okay.
completely. Sensitive to scents? I absolutely love a signature fragrance. And I
Okay.
expect the very best of good hygiene.
Yeah, I think anybody would be demanding good hygiene in this day and
Honestly.
age, like, to be fair.
Oh, it's like when you're out on a night out and good looking guy comes over, says hi to you, wants to talk to you, put his arms around you, and he's been smoking. Get away from me.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that strange how that's like your whole dynamic changes with stuff like that? Like, to
Completely.
be clear, not that somebody that's been smoking has come up and put their arms around me, but just as you've said, like, so that wouldn't pre 2007, you wouldn't have thought about that.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
It's crazy.
Isn't it bizarre?
Listen,
Yeah.
and also, can I just say, see, to be in a relationship with a Scorpio,
Oh yes, give me the lowdown on what does Cosmo say about
do you
being in
know
a relationship?
it's been over 23 years from I've been in a relationship.
It's mad.
Well, sorry, I've been in a relationship that for the last 23 years, when I say this, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, with myself. Because this
You're
is my mommy's
self-coupling.
this is my mommy's motto. Nobody will love me like I do. I've taken a leaf out of her book. But to be in a relationship with me, it's really basic. It takes me time to trust a person. It really does. And I like to keep my guard up until I feel really comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how... this is harsh, but it's when I'm comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, I'm worth it.
Okay.
And once I'm committed, I'm just boom. I'm all in.
Yeah.
And I like deep, intense, emotional. Once I let that guard down, once I let that, and once I say, right, okay, I can trust this person. I want to be with this person. And, it could get dramatic,
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, definitely.
but shut up. Like, think poetry and tattoos of your name or spontaneous elopement ideas. That dramatic.
Oh,
Mummy,
really? You're going to
aye,
elope?
Mummy, you go and live in Gran Canaria. Mum.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I have to also say, like, I haven't been on a date in a long time. I have been asked quite a lot to go out on dates. Would you like to go out? And I'd be like, no. But to go on a date with a Scorpio, with someone like me. I prefer, if I was on a date, to be somewhere intimate, distraction free, you know, just having all those settings where it's just you and this person.
Yeah.
No noisy bars or crowded venues. I hate that.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather sit in a car, you know, in a lane way, and overlooking a field, because then you get to talk and see and listen to each other. You know, ideal dates are also include the usual, like picnics and stargazing or a cozy home cooked meal, you know. But I also do love deep personal conversations, you know, and someone who wants to truly get to know me, but then I will open up and I will go deep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And privacy. Privacy is key.
Okay.
Not just for talking.
Okay. I mean, Cosmo has you sort of like, I think they've nailed, Cosmo have you, I think that's very interesting. Like, and you know, for this being basically generic, and tied to your star sign, like there's a lot of truth in there. It's just back to these kind of weird things where you do tend to try and fit yourself into, like, you know, this, you sort of try to pigeonhole yourself based on the narrative. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, right, let's chat dating me. So back before I had my husband.
Okay.
Let's find out what Cosmo says about Gemini men. Now, they say that Gemini men are a bit of a laugh, a bit wild, woohoo, and pure draining. Tina, you've seen it. Is this true?
True. You were a wee rat, and honestly, you took me for coffee once and ended up the karaoke dive with us both belting out all these tunes, and your Gary's a hero for locking you down, honest to God.
He married the riot. They say we love the chase and hate the unusual. Now, I'd plan a wee date and then flip it into a mad adventure. Do you know what I mean? Keep him guessing. That's how I nabbed him, to be fair.
Nabbed him? You wore him out more like. Dating you was like chasing a puppy with a megaphone, honest to God. Class, but knackering. Bring a stamina boost.
Because I'd talk the ear off you just because I cared. Like, still do. Just ask me, fella.
Oh, no, listen, he's definitely a keeper and a trooper.
And Tripper's right.
He really is, honest to God.
Okay, so I have to bear in mind my ma's going to hear this, so I'm going to keep the sex with a Gemini man relatively brief. We're not going to spend any time reflecting upon these, okay? I'm just going to read it out and I'm going to tell you whether I agree with it. Loves variety, expects new experiences and surprises. Not sure I truly agree with it. Sexting game is next level. Expect spicy messages. I would agree with that. I've got good texting game. Has an erotic bucket list and wants to tick fantasies off with you. Okay, yes, I would say that there's probably some truth in that. Routine equals boredom, so let's not expect the same thing every night. I probably wouldn't agree with that. I thrive on routine, unfortunately. I'm like a fucking petulant child.
Poor Gary's sitting there failing his nails. All right.
Okay, moving on to a relationship with a Gemini man. Okay, this one often dates multiple people. Could be ethically non-monogamous or just casually dating. Again, I wouldn't really have been a big dater. Like, before I met Gary, I wasn't a big dater at all.
No, you weren't really. Like, you were more, you loved your karaoke and you loved your nights out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bizarre. I was never really chasing boys when I was out. I was always like out having a really good time.
A good fun.
Do you know what I mean? It says can do monogamy, but it's best to have a clear conversation about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably fair. They've just said social butterfly, keeps a packed calendar and loves trying new things. 100%.
Yeah.
Hates too much routine. Netflix and chill every night. Not my thing. Okay, I kind of. Maybe there's truth in that, actually. Now I've thought about it. Yeah, putting it that way. Definitely don't.
Have you ever tried ITV Rubbin Hub?
No, what the hell's ITV Rubbin Hub? What is that?
Well, think about it. ITV Rubbin Hub.
Oh, is it like a Netflix and chill? Is that what you're?
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Loves learning about you. Asks loads of questions and actually remembers the answers. I do like to try and take a keen interest in people. I've been working hard on that over the years to try and ask more questions about other people and stop just talking about myself. So yes, I think there's probably some truth in that. I think I've still got a long way to go. A Gemini man in love. Okay, here we go. Won't necessarily start the define the relationship or the DTR talk, but once they're in, they're all in. I mean, I probably wouldn't necessarily want to define the relationship, but I don't really know. I thinking back even when I met Gary, I can't really remember who engaged that conversation. Other than saying that, we never really had that conversation. We just kind of just evolved. Wants to include you in their many, many hobbies, but no pressure to join them all. I agree with this. I would love nothing more than Gary to be a programmer or something like that, so we could geek out. Genuinely, he's not one bit interested.
No.
Constant chatterbox, shares all their thoughts, feelings and wild ideas. Yes, I am a constant chatterbox. I feel the need to share everything, feelings, the whole shebang. And if you love them, you'll find their endless enthusiasm adorable rather than overwhelming. I mean, I'm probably the exception to this Gemini rule, to be honest. Endless enthusiasm, adorable, maybe not so much, to be frank, here. But so the last section was about compatibility, and Scorpio was one of mine, Tina. So what do you think? What if we dated, Tina? A Gemini man, Scorpio drag queen lace. Now Cosmo says it's either going to be magic or mayhem. What do you reckon?
Mayhem with a fab soundtrack. You'd be all, let's hit every bar, and I'd be like, no, we're staying in. We're staying here so I can stir right through you. I'd have you murdered by Tuesday.
I know, but I would charm you right out of it. I'd supposedly bring laughs. You'd bring the spark, or to put it another way, I'd chat up the barman. You'd scare him off, and we'd be the mad wee pair.
Well, either that or a soap opera. I'd get raging at your endless pals and all your friends, and you'd scarper when I get all clingy. But maybe we'd work if you'd lift me. I'd steady you.
Well, there you go. Opposites with a buzz. Cheers
Absolutely.
to that.
Opposites do attract.
They do say. But listen, what about personal anecdotes, right? Or astrological insights, right? So I would like to know if there was, now, one that you want to talk about, a particular romance that left a lasting impression. Bearing in mind your traits, as according to Cosmo, are intense, passionate, emotional, secretive, sexual, sensual, deep, vengeful, guarded, loyal, scary. I'm just reading them off. Is there any kind of relationship that has left a lasting impact that you would have loved to have pursued, but just got away?
Yes, many. I think it's well over 30 years ago, and I met this guy, and his name was Colin, and we ended up seeing each other for like about 6 months, and I was crazy about him, crazy, and I never actually told him how I felt about him until the night we broke up. Because it was all kind of messy, and the messages came through from another friend, and I knew that his friend was jealous because him and I were together, and his friend purposely didn't want to tell me, carry the messages and stuff, and there was always confusion. It was always, I wanted to meet you last night, did he not tell you? And I was like, no. Anyway, but that kind of always stayed with me, because the night he broke up with me, he just basically gave up because someone else was interfering, and he wouldn't accept it, that his friend was going against us. And that was the night that I was so emotional, and I was so vengeful, and he was like, I don't really think it's working out, and I was like, you don't even fucking know me. And he literally nearly dropped dead.
Wow.
And he was like, what? And I was like, how do you even know me when you're going through him, and everything through him is like 3 days later? And he was like, what do you mean? And then that's when I told him, because I didn't know that he was messing and getting involved between the two of us. So he would have told him on a Saturday, if you see Tina, will you tell Tina I'll meet her on Tuesday night, blah, blah, blah. So he never told me until it was too late. And I really was into him. But you know what? It's so true, this Cosmo article, because he said that to me. I don't think it's working out. I went.
That's it.
I wouldn't let him have the last say. So obviously, I mean, are there any kind of humorous stories about the Gemini tendencies in the past?
Well, yeah, I mean, some of mine are like witty, social, upbeat, eager, talkative, expressive, playful, And then you take the worst and the best traits. So like curious, smart, creative, communicative, funny, adaptable, worst, non-committal, don't know about that, easily bored, impulsive and fickle.
No.
But when I met Gary, whenever we first met in Kremlin, for like the number of nights that we dated for at least 3 months, and we just kept meeting in the Kremlin and being talkative. That's all we done. Just talked all night. Talk. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if I've really got any sort of humorous story about tendencies, but I would say that, you know, if especially when meeting people,
Yeah.
that I can be quite talkative and expressive, you know.
But you see, you're quite like me in that I love face-to-face conversation. I get interested by human beings, and I love to listen to their stories because I find human beings really, really fascinating. Not always in a sexual way. It's not always about that. I think that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with drag, was the art of communication and what makes people tick and what makes them sad and what makes them horny and what makes them laugh, you know, and all of those different kind of sort of things, that all the traits, all of those wonderful, wonderful things. I mean, who determined these traits, and did they do a big survey, for example?
Well, this is it. I mean, I was thinking about, like, I've read out a bunch of my traits, the good ones and the bad ones and all the rest of it, but like, who decided those? Like, did somebody, do you know the way when you're walking up the high street, right? You've got those people with clipboards that are sort of chasing you up the street. Yeah. Like, you know, did somebody sort of go, I'm doing a survey for Cosmo here, what's your star sign? And would you say you're funny? Would you say you're this? Would you say you're that? And like, did they survey half of the world and go, okay, Geminis are these, Scorpios are these, and so on? Like, I wanted to know who determined these. What do you think?
I don't know. It's very interesting because, number one, I don't even read Cosmopolitan.
To be fair, neither do I.
Neither do you.
But I just came across the article and I thought this would be pretty interesting. I think we could fill an episode of a podcast with this, just talking about
would you ever, I know there are people who do this, but would you ever really live your life based on an astrologer's advice, for example?
No, it's like everything. Like, you know, there's 12 star signs, isn't that right?
Yeah.
There's 12 star signs, and living your life based upon some random
what the stars say,
generic musings doesn't really, again, scientifically, it's not really going to impact upon my life. And I think,
I mean, once Mystic Meg passed away, I mean, I could have told you the lottery numbers.
Never right. Do you ever remember Brian Connolly used to do Septic Peg?
Septic Peg. That was so funny. You know, and I mean, what does this week's star say? I mean, what tarot card has been turned for us?
Oh, well, so I looked them up, and I'll read mine out, and then after it, we'll have a wee discussion as to whether it's actually relevant to what's going on in our life at the moment, right?
Okay.
So here we go. Mine says, decision time, my Gemini friend. Not getting around or away from it. Time to decide. Whatever your options are, lay them out plainly and visibly. Kick them and pressure test them through discussion and research. Sleep on each option to decide how emotionally at ease you are with them. And then, before the weekends, make a final decision. The Two of Swords card says that procrastination time is done. If you don't make a move, then you risk losing all the options in play. And don't forget, if you make the wrong choice, heck, you just go on and make another one. I could probably say there's things that this week that this could apply to, but I don't really know whether this bears any relevance. Like I could make it fit. Do you know that way?
Yeah.
But I don't really know. What about you? What does yours say?
Oh, this is freaky. So, Tina, when did you last have a really good time? Can't remember. Let your hair down. The Three of Cups cards wants you to party and play and celebrate this week because, well, why not? Life is short. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Amp up the joy and the merriment in whatever way gets you going. This isn't about self-sabotaging habits or unhealthy patterns. This is about the sheer excitement and glee you can create simply by doing the things that you love or are new to you, with folk who are good to be around. So, as everybody well knows, I mean, obviously I'm like 70%, 75% close to my recovery, and I'm doing really, really well. And this Thursday, I'm taking myself off to sunny Gran Canaria.
Oh, it's
I
exciting.
haven't had an alcoholic drink since the 5th of November 2024.
It's been a
You know,
while.
and I'm going to go easy when I go over there. And this is basically saying to me, well, why not? Life is too short. You're not going to believe this. I set up a new email address.
You're joking. Not another one.
Do you know what it is?
Email addresses do you have, Legsy?
Life's too short. 1967 at yahoo.com.
Interesting. Yahoo.com. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, I look at this and I think, oh my God, this is like someone, I've done it, you know, and it's not all about recovery, you know, and it's about coming back. To me, it's like making a comeback and just grabbing the positives and just moving on. And just, this is so relevant. I'm so glad mine was far more fitting and yours was rotten. Because you know the way when people go to get their cards done, or you know, they go to see like a psychic, or when they put their hands in the crystal ball. It's like, do you remember in Ghost when Whoopi Goldberg, Margaret, Cynthia, Rose, Anita. She's going through all the names, and some people
Maria?
go to get Maria. Yes,
see, Maria.
She's come through, and I think that sometimes, you know, people go with high expectations, but this is just so correct.
Well, like if it works for you and it's there's a sentiment there for you to get behind, then why not? You know, why not?
Absolutely. I think it's just marvelous. It's great.
Absolutely.
So listen, I want to take this opportunity to thank all of our listeners.
Oh, it's the end of an episode.
Yes. Yes. Don't forget to follow us, rate us, and send us in your wee stories, please, ladies and gentlemen. All Patreons will get an extra episode called the G&T Sips and Giggles Lock-In. Head on over to our Patreon to learn more.
Yes, and until next time, Miss Legs, stay
Yes,
fabulous
Glenn
and stay
Marshall
awesome.
Adams. Chin,
Chin,
chin.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of G&T Sips and Giggles. If you've enjoyed our conversation, then don't forget to share it with your friends, and why not subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Your reviews mean the world to us and really help others find the show, so please take a moment to leave one, but be kind. If you'd like to support the podcast, why not consider joining us on Patreon? For the cost of a drink a month, you can listen to episodes early, access exclusive digital content, and get discounts to upcoming G&T shows. Your support helps us keep the conversation flowing. Cheers, we'll see you next time. Chin chin.